Good afternoon to all of you and welcome to this Friday training. We've taken VPEs on a road and we've tried to present you sequentially with training that builds one thing on top of the other. We have previously been sharing about how to encourage people to reach their educational goals and how do you upload these onto Toastmasters International through Basecamp and through Club Central. We've taken you through all these journeys. Now we're at a place where we want to say to you, you're having your ExCo meeting. You should have it once a month. And when you go for that once a month meeting, how do you know what to be able to present at that meeting? And how do you calculate your presentation as well? One of the big, okay, let me just backtrack a little bit here and share a conversation I had with club members at one stage, with ExCo members for that matter. In one of the clubs, I have just been temporary standing in for the president as well. And in that period of time, we've had to organize a membership drive. And there is, look, let's face it, sometimes we are overwhelmed. There's a lot for us to deal with. Is there anybody that can associate with that? Let me see some thumbs up or some movement from your emojis. If you can relate with, sometimes we are just overwhelmed with all the things that we have to do. Let me just see if there are some reactions coming from you guys. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. There are a few friends in the room that feel like that as well. Good. And when we become so overwhelmed by it, like let's pretend we go into this membership drive. Now, every person in the ExCo has a portion of that membership drive. That's how I train them, because most of the time they think it's the PR's job, but it's not just the PR's job. Everybody's related to that. I'm not going to go into that because I've done that on another training, but I want to get to the point that I'm trying to bring across that we need for today. One of the people felt that they felt kind of overwhelmed and pushed for performance in their role. Anybody else felt like that before, that you are pushed for performance in your role on Toastmasters? That's what easily can happen. So thank you. There's some people that can associate with me on that. Yes, it does happen. It's the most natural thing to happen because you've got your normal life and family and work and all of those things. And now there's these extra situations that come across that you just feel pushed. You've got to perform on your role. And especially if you're VPE, man, you are being called on to perform high performance. But I realized that if we feel performed, the chances of us becoming so overwhelmed that you really battle and that you end up regretting or resenting being in that position can be high. So what can we do about that? How do we handle it? How do we look at it? And here, so this one particular person said they just felt that all, in Toastmasters, come a certain time of the year, all they feel is that we've got to just get new members and we've got to focus on increasing and we've got to focus on adding levels and it's just push, 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 push all the time. And they just felt overwhelmed by that. And that is true. It definitely can feel that way. But I do believe that it's so easy for it to get to that. But as part of our leadership training, here's what I'd like you to make a mind shift change about today. And that particularly as VPEs, that you can help other VPEs, that you can help your members, that you can help other ExCo members to also do that mind shift change so that you can be more successful. And what is that mind shift change? We are in Toastmasters because we want to improve ourselves in some area. Am I right? So if your camera is off, it's okay. Just nod your head. I can feel it, I think. That's why we've joined Toastmasters. We want to grow ourselves somewhere. Communication, leadership. Well, Toastmasters boast with over 300 competencies that you can grow yourself into. So as a result of that, and there's all this learning experience and you're so overwhelmed, it's so easy to fall off the bus. So how can we keep insane and not fall off the bus? Here's what I want to bring to you today. Let's go back to this membership drive. Let's pretend I am the PR. I'm overwhelmed. I've got to get this thing done. I don't have time. What should my mind shift change be? What am I here to do? I'm here to learn about PR and how to grow myself from a PR perspective and a leadership perspective. So what is there that I can learn from this experience, and how can I grow my leadership, and how can I grow my PR in this moment? If I'm VPM members and I feel now we're having a membership drive and I've just got to perform, I've got to make sure people are signing up and becoming members, and I just don't have it in me. The mind shift changes. Why am I VPM? Oh yes, I selected that because the skill I can develop there is to be able to become competent in closing the sale. Because closing the sale is what we need for everything in life, whether I'm a salesperson or not. If I have a proposal that I want to present to somebody, I've got to know how to close the sale. So each position has its own skill development, and we've got to just remind ourselves. And that's the same with a member. What is that member's why? Why are they there? That when they feel overwhelmed, to say, okay, let's take a deep breath. I am here because I want to learn this. So let's get the clutter, let's get the pressure, let's get all of those things off. And how can I focus on learning just that? In the VPE environment, what is my focus? Is to be able to plan, because somewhere in any organization, in anything that's happening, there's got to be somebody that has a strategic thinking capacity and to be able to plan ahead. And right now, as VPE, that is your learning environment. Now, if you aren't planning, you're not going to learn those things. If you aren't like the VPM, I said to the VPM when we were discussing the membership drive, I said, okay, there's two things that you need to do. One is go and have a look at the different types of approach you get to close a sale. Select one that you think you can resonate the most with and tell us which style you're going to use and use it for this membership drive. Because afterwards we can then see, did it work well for you? Is there another one you need to move to? Or can we help you twig this one to make you shine in it? Can you understand what I mean by we need to do a mind shift change? If there's anybody that can relate to what I'm saying now, let me have some reaction from you. Whatever reactions you want to give me, show me that the lights went on, or else I must keep on explaining. Thank you. I get some reactions. I appreciate that. You see, Stephen Covey always says, let the main thing be the main thing. And we need to remember we are here for personal growth. That's the main thing. So when I'm overwhelmed, what is my personal growth I need to gain? Let me just do that. Let me focus on that. Let me do that and do it well so that I can get that learning. And I do it a few times that I can become well skilled in that. And that when my year of 10 years gone, that I can walk away saying, I have learned. And I want to bring that across to you today. Now, I'm going to go over into explaining how we handle this. I'm sharing something different. I'm sharing with you the dashboard. And I'm just going to realign these things here. Let me just add a spotlight and close that. Thank you, so that I can see what's going on. Now, I've hidden you guys, forgive me for that, but I need to see more of the screen. So Lynette, if something happens, please just be vocal so that I can know if there's some attention needed, please. Now, if you have a look at our dashboard, the dashboard of one of the clubs where I am a VPE, here you can see it's a small club. I'm actually the coach of the club as well. We only have a database of 12, and we are busy with our membership drive, and we're going to make things happen. But can you see that on our dashboard, we've already met 3 of our goals? And based on that, how do I do the planning that we can be sure we are reaching our goals and our, because remember, it's not, we must not look at it as a scoreboard. We must look at it as goals achieved. Now, I've said this many times, and I'm just going to say it again because it's such an important point to bring across, but I'll shorten it from how I normally do it. Toastmasters, having discovered what creates a quality club, put together these 10 goals that we need to achieve in order to have a quality club. Why do we want to have a quality club? Because the focus is upon a great member experience. And they discovered that members have a great experience in a quality club. That's the short part. Now, in understanding that, we want to achieve those goals. And for you, this is my little portion that I present at a ExCo meeting to say what my plans are and how. Now you can see it is absolutely empty at the moment because I want to show you what I do. And then I've got my planning sheet, my Excel planning sheet, which you should also know how that works. I'm going to enlarge it slightly so that you can see it a little bit better. Right. I have our members on the side, and some people are busy with an extra path. So I just slot the paths in there, what they're busy doing, and I slot the information along the line. And you see in that planning sheet of mine, I have the DCP goals written out here, and I've made it in such a way. Let me just enlarge it a little bit so that you can understand where it comes from. It says you need to enroll level 1, 4 of them, level 2, 2 of them. So each one here is 1 DCP goal achieved. And each one here tells you how many of this do you need to do. So you need to do 4 level 1s, 2 level 2s, and again 2 level 2s, and 2 level 3s, and 1 level 4, 5 or a DTM, and 1 level 4, 5 or a DTM. What I do in the beginning of the Toastmasters here, I go and I plan. You can see here's the planning. We can just take me, and I have started a new path. And you will also notice I've written their dual. Myself and 2 other members are dual members. And that means it's a little bit tricky because the dual member can say, I would like this level to go to this club and that level to go to that club. And you've got to be sensitive to what their desires are. What I normally have done is I've looked at the 3 clubs where I'm a member of. I look at where the needs are, and then I tell each club, you can have my level 1, you can have my level 2, you can have my level 3. And that's how I hand it out. Sometimes I give level 1, 2, and 3 to one club and something else to another club, depending on how many members there are and what happens. But that kind of scenario you will hardly ever find because most people only belong to one club. And for those that are belonging to the one club, it's a simple situation. So if you have a look at my reflection here in this club, I started with strategic relations, and I have finished on the previous club meeting. I finished my level 1. And having finished my level 1, let's have a look. So in my year, I've said I should finish a level 1, and in planning out, there should be a level 2 over here that I could possibly do. And when it's like this, I'm saying I could potentially do a number 3. If something happens, I could potentially do 3 levels at this club in this particular year. So let's have a look. I've, for now, just said to myself 1 and 2 over here. But I have completed number 1, and the other one is still projected out there. So that gives me, just at a glance, I can already see where they have been completed already. Now, you will notice there are 2 level 1s that are already completed. But if we look at the dashboard over here, it says 0. Because you need to remember that the reflection on the dashboard is not always 100% because they update the dashboard from time to time. So those were things that were recently updated. That's why they don't show on the dashboard yet. That means for a club that only has 12 members, we have not done bad having 3 goals achieved already. And there is potential of a 4th goal when the dashboard reflects again. I hope you understand this. We start here at the Excel spreadsheet to plan it going ahead, and then we trace what is the reality. And from this reality and the planning that I can see here, okay, this is September, and I like to color green when somebody reaches the end of a level so that it helps me understand. So potentially, I have all these potential levels finishing now in September that can be added. They're not quite going to happen because this person did not return and has stopped, has become inactive. But others are potentially there. In fact, we potentially will, for level 1s, close it off on Monday that we can earn another level 1 goal. Now, I'm going to retract. I've shown you quite a few things, so let's put them together and see how it works. Number 1, we start with projecting the year ahead. Once we've looked at the year ahead, then we do the updates. You can see I do what actually happened. I put a red square around it. And if I'm happy that everything is done, then I put a red square around the date because then I know everything in there is done. I don't put the red square around the date if I know there are still some members waiting for their evaluation forms from other members. Once I know everybody has their evaluation forms, then I put that one over there too. Then I know not only is that the actuals of who did what, but it is complete. Members have the evaluation forms. And I do hope you help members by putting a little bit of fire under the other members that are not filling in those evaluation forms. Let me just see your reactions here. Only you and me, Lynette. Ah, there's another one. Davi, you're also struggling. And Ndubu. And okay, there's Charles. You're also struggling. Thank you. Thank you. So some of you do struggle with the fact that there are members that are scheduled to do an evaluation of another member, and they just don't send those on. Lynette, do you want to maybe share with us any tricks you've discovered to make those members send their evaluations?
It's difficult because evaluation forms start in 2 places. They arrive at the meeting, or a member arrives at the meeting to deliver a speech and he hasn't sent his evaluation form to his evaluator. Now, generally you can overcome that because you know where to find an evaluation form for that level and you can put it in the meeting chat and send it to the evaluator. But then you have to chase up the evaluator to return the completed form to the speaker. And that's a different nightmare. I've just made a principle of if I evaluate somebody, I don't leave my desk until I've completed the form and sent it in. And the easiest way to send it for most people is by WhatsApp, but to send it on email for those who prefer getting it that way. And otherwise, it's up to the member to chase the forms to say, I haven't received yet, which is a problem.
That is it, because some members are fairly new. They feel awkward. They don't know the member that has evaluated them. They feel awkward. They don't want to go and chase them to do that. And that's why we as VPE, even though that is a new member, need to put something in place that helps this process come to pass. Now, when we have a meeting where there are people outside our club coming to either do a presentation or an evaluation or anything like that, I create a meeting WhatsApp. I've got one meeting WhatsApp that I just keep changing the date. So I don't use it with every meeting, but I do use it with meetings where we have people from outside. Other than that, I use the member forum for that. And I think, as you rightfully presented it, a very important thing is that we start off with remembering that we as VPE need to train our Toastmaster and our general evaluator on the following. The Toastmaster of the evening is the leader of the speakers, table topics, and if you have a toast of the day or a loyal toast or anything like that, the Toastmaster of the day needs to take care of those people on the agenda. You plan who's going to do what as VPE. You need to educate them that the Toastmaster of the evening now has a smaller group of people to trace after. If your meeting has 5 speakers, then you should have 5 speakers and 3 reserve speakers that your Toastmaster of the day can rely on or fall back to if one of the 5 couldn't do that. But train the Toastmaster of the day to assist you and to help you like that, to get into that. And in order to create that culture, you need to grab an educational at a meeting and say, people, I've just learned that what we need to do is to help the Toastmaster of the day and the general evaluator of the day rise up to a new leadership level and learn how to look at their own teams, how to lead their own teams in a meeting so that we can have a successful meeting team. So once the Toastmaster has led the speakers, one of the things that the Toastmaster must do to the speaker is to say, make sure you have sent your evaluation form to your evaluator and let them know if there's anything specific you want them to look at while you are presenting. When you are the general evaluator, then you take on the following. You have to look after the evaluators, the timer, the grammarian, our counter. Sometimes they are one person, but that's your evaluation team. If there are any other evaluators, like maybe there's an educational evaluator or a table topics evaluator, you bring them into the team as well. And you train the general evaluator to be able to keep the eye on it and to voice. Evaluators, have you received the evaluations from your people? You want to do that at least the day before the meeting, that everybody has. They have announced who's coming and who's not coming, and everybody has their things. But you and I know that up until the time the meeting starts, other things happen too, isn't it? But we want to avoid that. So that's why we put a deadline to it of the day before, 24 hours before the meeting. We want to make sure that the general evaluator has communicated everything with their team. The team is happy and ready to roll, and the same with the Toastmaster of the day. 24 hours before the meeting. And you want the general evaluator to also go into communicating afterwards with everybody to remind them, please make sure you send your evaluations. Can I have feedback? Who has received their evaluations? And you have that communication taking place until we are sure. And then as VPE, I've watched now the communications. And if I see either the Toastmaster or the general evaluator are not communicating the way they should, I privately communicate to them, training them what they should communicate, and let them do that. I want to encourage you to do that so that that responsibility is shared. And when the different people become the general evaluator of the day of your meeting, and they see how a mammoth task it is to get these evaluations together, I guarantee you they will be more faithful in getting their evaluations done and sent off. And let's try and have a rule that within 24 hours of the meeting, the evaluations need to be delivered. Are there any questions around that? And then I'm going to just tie what I've said right now with what I shared with you today. I just want to make sure if there's any questions around that. I don't see any reactions. So now I'm going to tie it together. Here we go. You as VPE.
I have a question.
Yes, Charles. Yes, Charles, go for it.
What can a club do to an evaluator that doesn't send an evaluation form for over a month?
Charles, make biltong out of him. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Okay. Charles, that is, I know those things have happened. It's really such a painful thing. What I would suggest you do, you speak with the general evaluator that was part and parcel of that, so that the two of you are involved in the conversation with this other member. I like to go from the premise that everybody in the world is honorable and they want to do their best. That's the premise I go by. So whatever happens in your life and you come and I pick up problems, I will always believe first that you are an amazing person, you are honorable, and you desire to do the right thing. Because I honestly believe that's in everybody's heart. The difference comes in, and I think you will relate to me, you will be able to relate with me on that. Sometimes when people aren't doing what they're supposed to, for whatever reason it is, they either react in an aggressive way back to you, or they dig their head in the sand like an ostrich and they don't answer you. They ignore you. And there are a few other versions of that, but those are the two extreme versions that you get. And when you actually just take a little bit of time, you discover what the story is. So I would go and make a communication and say, you know, I want to tell you, it's been a month now. If you can even remember what that member said, you are even greater than I am, because I can't even remember their speech, let alone the title of their speech. So I'm thinking maybe your biggest problem with being able to return the evaluation is because how can one remember after such a long time? Could that be a challenge for you? Or is there a different challenge you're facing? I'm trying to see what is your real deep challenge. Maybe your challenge is even how you put it across. Maybe you feel insecure in some statements and what is it? How can I, as your VPE, help you to shine in your evaluation? And if you lost your notes or done anything that you feel terrible about, tell me. Let me see how you and I can fix this. Does that make sense to you, Charles? That you just kind of come on their side?
Amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Because if they feel you are on their side, then they will feel easier to open up to you and because no, Charles, I don't want to tell you my weaknesses. I want to shine. I want to look great. Isn't that how we all are? And when you come to them and make them understand it is a safe place to fail. So you failed at sending back that evaluation. Let's see what we can do. Now, that's one of the reasons why I like to record every club meeting. And then I put them onto our YouTube, but it's not open for the public. It's only our club members, because it's the people that have there's a way that it's set up. I can't remember now, can't tell you. And that way you can, if you have that set up, it just makes it so much easier that you can say, go to it on that day, quickly just watch them again. But if you do not have that and you can't watch it again, then contact the member and say to the member, are you willing to just present that same speech? Just make a little video of the same speech quickly, because there was a problem and your evaluator really would like to be able to give you a decent evaluation. Often members don't mind to do that. And they just put their cell phone on. It doesn't have to be a great recording. And you send it on and they get it over and done with. That would be my recommendation. Any other questions regarding that? Then I'm going to quickly recap everything now of what we were busy with today. Number one, we need to know we have a dashboard to focus on, because those are the goals that we are responsible for as VPEs. Those 6 educational goals, we need to make sure our members are fulfilling those. So we need to know how to get to it and how to read it and how to plan for it. Number one. How do we plan for it? Number 2 is using that spreadsheet. Using the spreadsheet, planning ahead, and then just recalling what has happened. The other thing that I do that is on my spreadsheet is Pathways Approval tab, where you will see those that I've done in Basecamp and in Club Central. Most of the time they will have the same date, but sometimes there's something happening. Like here you will see a big jump. 19th of July, 8th of September. There was a story. And that's why it's there. But I put the date there because I can tell you, if I don't put the date there and I don't come and visit this page ever so often, I will end up having some people not on Club Central, not because I'm terrible, because I'm lazy. But if you guys can do a better job, wonderful for you. But I need something that I can glance up and check off, because sometimes something happens. And then from my members planning, when I use this actuals, I just take down the actuals from there. So in other words, I would now if I have to prepare my presentation to the club, I will then write in this presentation, I will add somebody, thank you. In this presentation form to the club, I will add the actuals there of where the points are that, where the goals are that we've reached. I will put the date that's there and I'll put a check mark to show it's done. We have that goal achieved, and I'll put the 2 people's names that helped us achieve that goal. And then I will put anybody else's name here that I project what is next that we can achieve using my Excel spreadsheet. And because now we're coming up to October, I will be able to see, okay, Armando should be able to do level 3 and Georgina will be able to do level 3. So I've got 2 level 3s coming up for that month. And then I will go to my sheet and I will type in level 3. Oh dear, there's a mistake. I didn't see that one. It should say 2. Then I can say Georgina and Armando, and that would be for October 2021. And come the end of October, if we manage that, then I will check it off. Sometimes I put my projected names here in black, and when they actually do it, I color them in the blue as it is there. That is it in short. Want to know from you, are there any questions? Did this help you? Please talk to me before you go. And it's your public holiday, so you can visit with me a little bit longer. I always get excited. You must know I'm in the desert. And I get so excited when there's some people that I can talk to. So make use of that opportunity that you have me here. And Lynette is also here. Tap into us and let's empower you. Ask questions. Bussy, thank you for your reaction. You guys are so quiet. Yes, David.
Hi, it's David.
Hello, I joined Darby because I can't get on my computer. And I use Zoom every day, so I don't know what it was with today.
And we've used this link for how many months? So I don't have a clue why it goes. today.
Oh,
Yeah, I wanted to know. I know you spoke about the. I'm not the administrators at work just blocks these kind of meetings, so I don't often get the chance to in person attend on a Friday. But the Excel spreadsheet, we worked on a different version, different way of doing it. But I like your Excel spreadsheet a lot. It makes it summarize it and it makes it so much easier to do it. Would we be able to use your spreadsheet?
Yes, and it is in our resources.
Okay.
I will type a little note after the meeting and just let you know where you can find what again. Okay.
Okay. No, but the training is excellent. Thank you.
Good. I'm happy. I'm happy. Anybody
you.
else? Anybody else? Yes, Pussy.
Sorry, let Pussy go.
Pussy, your hands up first. Pussy.
Sorry, thank you, Jenny. Sorry, I was struggling to unmute. You know, technology, you move between the screens, between WhatsApp and Zoom. So I wanted to check the topic for today's training.
Mm.
And I think it's referring to how to prepare a what educational report.
Yes, for when you go to ExCo, to be able to tell ExCo what, because as VPE, you're responsible for 6 of the DCP goals to achieve them. And so that's the report that you're going to present to ExCo, where you project in the next month, these people will finish. And by that time, you should be able to have achieved another DCP goal. That's what it was.
Okay. And that's what we were talking about today.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, I thought we were gonna be talking about how to prepare that report, how to put it together.
Yes, that's what I did. I did that. I showed, let me just quickly go there so that because I think you logged in a little bit late. So let me just quickly click on it quickly and show you. This is the report that you will present. And I explained, where do you draw this information from to be able to present it to them? And the place where you draw it from is from your planning sheet that you use to draw the information from. Okay, that was
okay.
the.
Where do we get these Excel spreadsheet form? Where can we get them?
When we're finished with the training, I will put the notice on the chat group. I mean, not the chat of the Zoom, but the WhatsApp group where you can get it, because others have also asked for it. Okay, just keep an eye on that.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Good, good.
Thank you.
Was it Valentine that also had their hand up? Or who else had their hand up?
Yes, it was mine. Thank you for the great session, Greeny Beam. My question is not related to today's content, but it's I think you can also help. I just want to find out about when we have a new member. So I'm struggling to know who's supposed to help them with
everything.
No, actually registering their pathway. Is it me or the VPM? Because normally he will register them on Basecamp, and when I orientate or give them orientation, I find that they haven't selected their path, and I don't even know how to do that.
Okay, now, right. I did a presentation on new member pathways orientation. And on the new member pathways orientation, there you will clearly see how to do it. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of an issue. Don't have time to tell you the story. But the main issue is some of the trainings that we've done, I have not been able to upload to our drive. But I'm hoping that within this week coming, that issue is sorted out, and then I can upload the rest of the trainings. but that training's videos are on my YouTube channel. They are called New Member Pathway Orientation, and there are 3 videos, number 1, 2, and 3. Please watch them, because that's where you will get the answers on how to do it. And I would even present those links to your members that they can start with the first one, because the first one is to be able to select your path, where you teach them that they can either look at the different paths or they can do an assessment. And once they've done it, how do you go and get that free path of yours? And then the second one is, now that you have selected the path you want to do, where do you find it? How do you start with it? And the third one is, then once you have finished presenting a project, how do you close off the project and the level? So I do believe that those are helpful for you. I will add the link to my channel when I'm finished here, and I give the information on that for you as well. Okay. Okay, I'll share Tando, I'll share the link. We had a good mind together there, didn't we? Anybody else there? Who else has a question or anything else that I can help you with? Lynette, is there anything you would like to add to today's training that you were thinking of? Any of your valuable tips, tricks?
I don't really have anything to add to this. I am trying to move away from the Excel spreadsheet onto EasySpeak, but I'm finding that a greater challenge than first anticipated. So I think I've got it set up, but it's not actually in motion yet. So I just need to go back to Jasmine's 2 sessions that I did attend and go back to the recordings. But then I still have a problem, and I don't know where it is. I'm not getting the participation that I should be getting.
Okay. Well, for me, I've looked at that scenario, but I have still found that for me to have my Excel spreadsheet where I can look at things and plan it and just grab it from there, because once I've planned it all on the Excel spreadsheet, it's helped me to be able to take it there, because on my spreadsheet, I can go and delete here, move there, change here, like I want to faster. And it's in one field, I'm looking at the entire year, so to speak. But when I'm busy with EasySpeak, it sometimes is not enough for me, you know, it's not a broad enough scope for me to look at. And that's my dilemma. It's just who I am and how I can relate to it. Okay, everybody, I believe. I also find EasySpeak not too easy, and I still need work on it. The Excel spreadsheet will help. Okay, Darby. Okay, everybody, it is your holiday today, so go and enjoy your holiday. Unless you're most welcome, I will definitely stay on for another 5-10 minutes. If you have any other questions, I will help you with that. But the formal training is then finished. You are welcome to go. Busi, I see your hand. I will give you another opportunity to speak. Or was that a goodbye hand? I'm not sure.
It's okay. We can talk after the meeting. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay. So anybody else, if you would like any additional questions answered, you're welcome to stay behind, and the rest of you enjoy your holiday. Thank you for coming to the training and shine as VPEs.
Thank you so much. And I assume that you'll put the recording in the chat. Not in the chat, in the WhatsApp group later, because there's still one person who wasn't able to join.
I will do that.
So I'll get it that way.
Yes.
All right, enjoy. Thanks very much, everybody.
Bye, Lynette. Thank you for your help, Lynette. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You'll remember to put the link for, yeah. For VPE.
It's the spreadsheet, my YouTube channel, and the recording of today. And if I miss anything, I know you'll be there to remind me again, and it's okay. I don't mind to be reminded.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.